On our way home to Ontario, a bit of a weird day. Yes, it was a weird day. Got a little pulp. Steve declined his pulp today. Don't know why. He just did. When it came to today, what did we do today? We had one horse race today. Didn't race very good. A Mordiner. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. We had a number of horses qualify, although the qualifiers were a little off. The 1-2 skip a few I was floored. She warmed up so good and then qualified so poorly. We scoped her. Yeah, there was some mucus, but I think maybe she tied up a little bit last week when we trained her. When I got to the races to the track last week, we'd warmed her up once she never wore the hobbles in her life, virtually. Warmed her up. She was terrible. We put the hobbles on her. I scorched her again. Then we went a mile and 2-1 in the mud. Maybe she cramped up a little bit. There was no indication. I had specifically asked the caretaker after, any indication that Philly had any issues? No, there was none. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that she didn't. I mean, 1-2 skipped a few is a tough filly, right? So she may have cramped up a little. But I can tell you one thing. I already know. I trained her with the hobbles on in a horrible track in 2-1 last week, and then for her to go out and qualify bad, you could say, was it the hobbles? Was it this? Was it that? I think we're probably going to answer that question in our blood tomorrow. A number of questions came from today, but we had some answered today. We'll start with what happened at the end of the day and make it first priority. We did ultrasound Royson's punch, 2 small tears. So more of an aggravation on the right side. I think that was from taking weight at the end of the race. The left hind, I honestly thought there was more damage than this done. 20%, he said, at most. He said 15-20% tear. I mean, in that medial branch, that's not extensive, to be clear. It's still a tear. It's a very real injury. But the swelling and the discomfort I saw him in, I thought it was going to be quite a bit higher. So it should be able to mitigate this. Now, as I said to one of our clients, we will probably put him in the Ohio sale next month. Work on him, rehab him, be completely upfront with everybody about what had happened. He did injure it, regardless. He injured his hind leg. It's rehabbed. In a month's time, he should be able to start back jogging, I would think. And if we don't put him in the sale, that's fine. It's like $150 to put the horse in the sale. It's not the end of the world. I think that's the smartest play for now. So that was what happened at the end of the day. So some good news to a very bad situation. I truly thought that there would be a significant tear in that left hind leg, and it turns out it wasn't. I would say, I don't know how to categorize it. It was an injury, but of the medium variety. I wouldn't say it was a catastrophic injury. No, put it this way. We watched Spent race last night in Indiana. We sold him last year. He had a 60% tear. So it can sit 3 times as large as Royson's punch, and he's back now trotting and racing well. So this is an injury a horse can recover from. It's not something that is, as I said, catastrophic, but at the same time, it does take rehab, and I hate dealing with suspensions on trotters behind, but in general, but behind for sure. But it is what it is. We'll rehab him, get him back going, see how he is. But I think maybe even putting him in the sale and being completely upfront with everybody and saying, hey, great horse, won in 54-2, took a new lifetime mark, did get injured, it's rehabbed. Come and look at him. I suspect by sale day we can have those legs down almost perfect. But again, knowing that injury was there. So I guess I was happy in that regard to say that Royson's punch will race again. I don't know when, and I don't know for who. It might be for us, it might be for someone else, but he will race again. I guess we'll work our way backwards. A Mordiner raced, looked terrible. I thought he looked lame left hind to me. Dave Plone said the same thing after the race. Now, Tim had the vet look at him preliminary, have a preliminary exam of the horse. He couldn't find anything acutely wrong with him, so no lameness after the race. But that doesn't mean there's not something there. So he said, what do you want to do? He said, full barrage x-rays. I want to know, make sure that the horse is okay if he's not. What did I see? What did Dave see? What was that? And how do we mitigate that? I don't think it was anything super serious. But again, I don't want to jump the gun. So we'll see what they come back with a Mordiner. Regardless, the horse is walking around sound. So it's not like he is sore and lame and crippled at the burn. But what I saw on the track was, to a degree, concerning. Then we had all the qualifiers, all the training. Now I'll jump in with I'll interject with one thing. 3 Point Blue Chip is not in Saturday. I did receive an email from Julie Miller saying that he did have some pimples in his throat and a little heat in one foot. They had trained him in 158 in the race bike. A little bit of heat in his foot, some pharyngitis is what she said. I assume that pimples of the throat. 3-year-old stuff. So he'll wait a week and then go, I believe, is the plan. I said to Andy, I said to Julie, and I'll say it to all of you, they're training the horse, they're going to make the decisions. I'm not going to say, well, you should have him ready then, or what about having him ready later? Their job is also their job first and foremost, especially for us, is to take care of the horse. It's in their best interest, it's in our best interest. So whatever plan they come up with, I'll support 100%. Where are we at? Now we get into the qualifiers. As I said, 1-2 Skip If You warmed up awesome. I literally said to Steve, it wouldn't shock me she qualified in 58. She was awesome in the warm-up, and the complete opposite in the mile. Felt weak, emptied out. We scoped her. Some mucus there, but no blood. Some mucus there, but by the look on the vet's face, I don't think there was enough to constitute the mile that I was describing to him. So I suspect the true answer to the question, what happened this morning with 1-2 Skip If You, will be found in her blood work tomorrow. Maybe she tied up a little last week when I trained her in the race bike. I know I spoke to Amy, the caretaker of 1-2 Skip If You, and there was no indication that she was uncomfortable at any point in the week, but that doesn't mean that she didn't tie up. 1-2 Skip If You is a very, very tough horse. So if she tied up a little bit, maybe she sulked for the remainder of the day, but ate her food, because she's got a clappy gait. Maybe the person riding, jogging in the morning didn't notice that maybe something was additionally or oddly out of the place. She was more uncomfortable. So maybe it was just a number of little things that actually compounded to turn today into what it was. So, the good news is she's tight. She's trotting good with the hobbles on. She was awesome. Flawless, felt great, but very weak today. So as I said, I'll update you tomorrow, but I suspect we're going to find in short order exactly, probably an elevated AST on 1-2 Skip If You. We can mitigate that. We can fix that. It might take a week, but we can fix it. There's probably some people out there saying, okay, of Tom, what happened? She broke her trotting hobbles and 1-2 Skip If You, but what about the series? Guys, I need everybody just to take a step back and understand, I don't give a shit about the Iron Maiden series or even the Hackett. We have bigger fish to fry with many of these horses throughout the year, and it's a long season. So getting them prepped, like I told you, if Slim Jimmy, if Purple Aura, if Sweet on Pete, if they were ready on their own fruition, with no rushing, if they were ready to go for the Hackett, they could go. Now Purple Aura tied up, she won't be ready to go. She will be ready for the sires, but won't be ready for the Hackett. Sweet on Pete and Slim Jimmy are ready because everything went proper. The timeline was there on their, as I said, in their fruition. They did it all on their own. There was no deviation from the plan, and they got there. They didn't get sick, they didn't get sore, and they got there on time. So they'll both race in the Hackett. The Iron Maiden series, there's no rush. If 1-2 Skip If You tied up and needs a week or two, fine. I was just using these eliminations as preparations into the Buckeye and the Sire Stakes anyway. So, of Tom, yes, we'll get to her. So before I leave, just want to make abundantly clear. 1-2 Skip If You, everything went right except she was a little weak today. You'll find out, and I'll find out tomorrow when we see the blood work. Of Tom, we had the hobbles on her today. She broke her hobbles going into the first turn. Now the rope didn't break, the pulley didn't break. What had happened was the snap on the casing of the hobbles broke. Now, Of Tom's a big, strong filly that carries a fair amount of torque in her stride also. And this is the first time she's had the hobbles on. Last week was the first time ever. This week we were going to qualify her. Broke the hobbles. I had to pull her up. So I pulled her up, put her back in the paddock, fixed the snap, went out, schooled her in 2-3-ish, maybe 2-2, 2-3 last half and 59, 58 apiece. She was trotting good. She's going to be ready to qualify next week. She's not bomb-proof in the turns. If you don't set her up for the turn and you don't keep her head over to the left, if she runs in at all, she'll make a break. Now, she's a bigger, stronger filly. She's not near as strong as she needs to be, but she's a bigger filly, and she's trying to trot on a half-mile track and gain speed, pick up speed in tight quarters. So she's going to get a lot of leeway. Her scooter was very, very good today. I was very happy with her. Now, Her schooler wasn't near as good as Sweet on Pete's. I schooled Sweet on Pete in like 56 and 4, 57. Again, we had some people that obviously aren't owners of Sweet on Pete saying, what happened with Pete? Yeah, I just love to watch her. Nothing happened. This was merely timing. If for some reason she made a break, if for some reason, God forbid, she got run into and the judges didn't see it, or something happened and she was charted with an X, fair and square, she couldn't race in the first leg of the Hackett without us running her around to get her qualified, which I would not have done, by the way. So we opted for an unofficial schooler. She was exceptionally good. Now, both her and Jimmy, they're ready to rock right now. 56 and 4, 57, virtually by herself. Sweet on Pete. Now, Slim Jimmy got to chase some speed up in front of him. Sweet on Pete did all the work her own. There was only one other horse in the qualifier. It might have won a mile and 15. I was 4 country miles ahead of her the whole way. So, Sweet on Pete was very, very good today. Slim Jimmy, a great mile from him, 56 and 2. Horse that won it's like a 7-year-old that has a mark of 53. So a great mile from Slim Jimmy. Also a wonderful prep mile from him. Earplugs were in. I really just moved him over, asked him to trot down the lane. He actually went by the horse in the turn after and looked exceptionally good. Horse that I was really proud of today was Gemstone Ruby Rose. Her line doesn't look good to you. I really had to hold her together in the turns, but very strong in the straightaways. I think once we get her squared away, she's actually a decently talented filly. She had some pop down the backstretch when I moved her, and then in the last turn I did have to hold her together, but once I got her untangled and let her rock down the lane, that last quarter might have been 31 and 2, but it only looked that way for the far turn. I really just hit her in neutral. She's probably ready to trot a quarter in 28 apiece, 29, and looked very, very good. And again, no, we're not talking the same type of horse as any of the fillies we qualified today, but nevertheless, she could work her way into a useful horse. The Fairs, the Buckeye, who knows? But she was good today. I was very, very happy with what I saw from Gemstone Ruby Rose today. So those horses qualified. Now we're on our way back. I'm going to literally just land in Ontario. Like we didn't cut it close enough yesterday. I made it to we drove 7 hours because we get stuck in traffic at the bridge. Then there was a car accident on the 75, on the I-75. We literally, and I mean literally, got to the track with 9 minutes to post in race number 9. We were in race number 10. Went out, obviously you know the rest of the story. Eldie's Patrick raced good, Stay Close raced pretty good. Got in the car, drove all the way back to Northfield Park, get up today, did all this work today. Now we're on our way back. I'm going to land in Ontario around 6:30, maybe 7, and Resolute Bay and Unbeatable Kemp race around 8. So it's going to be a tight fit again today, but we'll endeavor to get it done. I think they're the only ones going again tonight, right? Sailor is scratched. Obviously, you guys know if you watch it and watch my videos, Sailor ended up with not one, but 2 quarter cracks the other night. We've since got him shod. We fixed all those up. He'll be back in next week, but for this week, he is going to miss racing. He's going to be scratched tonight. That just leaves Resolute Bay and Unbeatable Kemp for tonight. So can't wait to get there. Obviously, I hope this rain stays right here on the southern side of the border. Can't wait to get there and race Resolute Bay. So that's your update, Thursday update. From Northfield Park. 1-2 skip a few. She trotted okay, but obviously there was a massive power outage there. We'll get to the bottom of it within the next 24 hours. Of Tom Broker trotting hobbles, she'll requalify next week. Slim Jimmy was exceptionally good today. Sweet on Pete, exceptionally good today. And I was really proud of Gemstone Ruby Rose. So as far as a Mordiner, we'll get to the bottom of that. Again, in short order, Tim's veterinarian, as of right now, is going over the horse to see what is and it maybe what not is correct with a Mordiner. And I'll be giving you updates on that also. So, another good day here at the stable. Hopefully we can cap it off with a 1-2 punch in the non-1-2 trot tonight at Mohawk Park.